Hi, and good evening. Welcome to the Sisterhood of the Rising Phoenix. We present to you tonight Beltane and Modern Witchcraft. We are preparing to celebrate Beltane coming up on May 1st, and we'd like to share with you how we practice and some ways that people have practiced historically and the way people are practicing now. So, we are going to be celebrating fire, fertility, and the sacred union tonight. With me tonight, as always, I have Carolyn Rebelto and Audrey Westcott, and I am Karen French, and we are the Sisterhood of the Rising Phoenix. What is Beltane? Well, Beltane is a fire festival, and it is when it's May Day. It's a lot of things to a lot of different people. But the vital timing and meaning of Beltane is usually April 30th to May 1st in the Northern Hemisphere. It means bright fire in Gaelic. And a season is a halfway point between the spring equinox and the summer solstice. And it's one of the four major Celtic fire festivals. So you've got fire plus fertility equals vitality. It's wonderful. Beautiful picture of Hawthorne, I think that is.
Yeah, that is Hawthorne. Very pretty.
Historical roots, agricultural society. People were very agricultural for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. And so they marked the beginning of the pastoral summer, which means when you're taking your animals out to pasture. And when crops began to sprout and animals were bearing young. So communities emerged from winter isolation for communal survival. And this was a big deal. These bonfires were a big deal. It was the way that communities came together to celebrate as one, which is something that we just don't do much of anymore. Purification rituals. Herders drove livestock between two sacred fires to cleanse winter stagnation and safeguard against harm, ensuring a prosperous year ahead. So, yeah, they would drive cattle between two bonfires or big burning torches or whatever. It probably scared the heck out of cats. But this was a protection ritual. Mm-hmm. So this was supposed to protect the cattle and also ensure prosperity for the year to come. Mm-hmm. So the sacred fire, symbolic meanings. Fire acts as an alchemical agent, burning away the old to make way for summer's generative energy. It represents the sun's peak power and divine presence. And what I love about fire is the transformational aspect of it. Mm-hmm. Practice is extinguishing household fires to relight them from the communal bonfire, a literal sharing of divine blessings. So they would take their torches or whatever, and everybody would gather around, take fire from the bonfire, and then go home and relight all of the lights in their house from that. So they're all sharing the blessing of Beltane together. I think that's cool.
And a lot of these Celtic fire festivals, and like I said, it's one of the four major ones. What we see in a lot of these writings that we get from later on is that Beltane specifically, you would have the maypole, and then we're actually going to talk about that too.
Yeah, that's coming up.
They're gonna a lot of these places in Celtic regions, they would light four on the land. They would light four bonfires, and they would be at each point. So you're thinking north, south, east, west, right? So they would light these festivals, light these bonfires, and in the middle of these bonfires would be like their big old festival, the maypole, and eating and drinking and partying in that sense.
Yeah, there was a lot of that.
And some places would actually make bonfires out of animal, like build a bonfire in animal form and light it that way
Yeah,
as
if you've
well.
ever seen like the Wicker Man or something like that,
Mhm.
where you
Uh-huh.
have a Wicker Man or a wicker goat, maybe, or a wicker wreath sometimes, sometimes a wicker doll or witch or whatever.
Yes.
And they would light it on fire. It's
Mhm.
also in, if you've ever watched Outlander, we watched them
Uh,
burning the cross. They had a cross, the Celtic cross that was very beautiful, made out of wicker that they would light if there was
ever
like
an emergency.
yeah, in an emergency. So if
Mhm.
anybody that saw the burning cross would know that their homestead needed help. So it's really interesting how people use that throughout the years. The wheel of the year. So let's talk about throughout the years. Let's talk about how the way that belting was brought into the modern age. It was incorporated by Gerald Gardner in the 1940s, and belting was reconstructed as one of the eight major Sabbaths. It blends historical Celtic folklore with ceremonial magic to honor the great rite, the union of the god and goddess. It emphasizes personal experience, celebrating earth based spirituality through the lens of modern passion and growth. Beltane's place in the cycle. Okay, I love this graphic. So if you're seeing this, this is the ancestors at Samhain, and Yule is the time of rebirth, and Imbolc is our awakening. Beltane is about union, Letha about peak power. Think about,
You're at your
summer
highest.
equinox, yeah,
You're at your
or
highest
summer
power.
solstice rather.
Mhm.
Yep.
Lugnasa celebrates your first harvest, and Mabon or Mabon, or we always wonder what
It
this is actually called. Um, Mabon is the autumn equinox, or Mabon, whichever. A threshold of time where the veil between worlds is exceptionally thin.
mhm.
Now,
This
the,
is considered threshold time.
the reason I find that Beltane and Union go well together is there is a lot of naughtiness on Beltane.
Yes.
And yeah, the, spring wasn't the only thing that had just awakened. And yeah, with it, hormones. And so Beltane was a really popular festival and one in which a lot of pregnancies began.
It was a
Uh-huh.
really, really fun time
Yeah,
because
sure,
yeah,
there's a lot of sex magic on the
yeah,
Beltane.
you know, a lot of
Good
people
time for it.
assume that Lupercalia is what well yes and no with Lupercalia, but Beltane's kind of got Lupercalia beat.
Well, they're just two different excuses for getting together and making whoopee.
Yes.
So
Yep.
back to Beltane. Our our central Beltane concepts are, well, sacred union. Okay, the integration of masculine and feminine energies within the self and the cosmos. Yeah, that's a really nice way of putting it. Probably better than our way. Okay,
Yes.
fertility, manifesting abundance in creative projects, ideas, and material wealth, and holy joy, rejecting shame around pleasure and celebrating embodied spirituality. Yes, we talked about that a little bit there. Yes,
Yes.
they did reject shame around that. And
They had fun
everybody
doing
just,
it.
yeah, had a real good time.
Yep.
So let's talk about some contemporary fire magic. What are we doing now? Bonfire celebrations are a good way to celebrate Beltane. Drumming circles, yeah. Community drumming, ecstatic dancing around large outdoor flames.
Remember,
Which,
fire safety.
yes, please keep all body parts,
Away from that said fire.
yeah. Fire jumping, yes. If you can jump, then leap over a small flame to symbolize purification and the leaping of new goals. So please don't try fire jumping if you have neuropathy like some of us do,
I
because
was
you
gonna
will
say,
off the ground and you will burn your toes.
yeah.
All right. Flame scrying. divination by gazing into vibrant candle flames for intuitive spiritual guidance. Now, that's a really cool way of using the fire of Beltane to bring in some divination into your practice.
I think that is a really interesting way, definitely.
And
Yeah.
home sanctification. Light all your home candles from a single Beltane flame to carry the sun's energy indoors. So that could be a cool way to celebrate Beltane this year is like douse the lights inside, go outside, have a fire.
Oh, we
And
do
then
technically
come
have a small
inside.
cauldron, and if
Yeah.
Ron just tripped all those dead, there's a way we could do it. We could make technically a bonfire.
There's some things out there I don't know if I'd want to burn.
Damn.
But that's a topic for later.
That is a topic.
Okay, botanical traditions. Now, these are different flowers and things that you might find associated with Beltane. And one of the major ones is flower crowns. Now, flower crowns were historically and contemporarily very popular ways of celebrating Beltane, especially for the maidens in your midst, the unmarried women, whether they're maidens technically or not, um, the wearing of the flower crown. And we also have the May bush. Bringing in the May involves gathering dew-covered blooms at sunrise to decorate the home and welcome summer's vital force. Now, what is the May bush?
I don't know.
Carolyn, do you know what the May bush is?
No, but I'll look it up real quick while you're talking.
Yeah, that's
I got
that's a
it.
good
Hang on
idea.
1 second.
And nature altars. Now, anybody can make a nature altar, and you can have a nature altar indoor or outdoor. Either one is fine.
I found it. Okay, so a maybush is a common term for flowering hawthorn shrubs.
I thought that looked like author.
Often associated with Irish folklore where it's decorated for May Eve to protect homes. It's also referred to a residential area in Southampton, UK. It's surname originating from medieval England.
Cool.
The botanical
So
the botanical definition of the maybush are whitethorn is a shrub tree in the Rosaceae family that produces small white flowers in spring, often used for hedgerows. Irish traditionally hawthorn bush is decorated with ribbons or rags placed outside the homes on May Eve, which is April 30th, to ward off evil, bring in good luck, and welcome in summer. It is rarely brought indoors because of superstition.
cool. So don't bring it in.
Yeah, don't leave it outside.
Leave your May bush outside. All right, the maypole. And Audrey was talking about the maypole earlier. We have a lovely graphic of a bunch of kids having fun with the maypole. And also hand fasting. Maypole dancing. Now, the maypole dance was the weaving of colorful ribbons, which creates the fabric of life and symbolizes the intertwining of masculine and feminine energies. But that's really an understatement because there's a specific order to
the way they do it,
to weaving the maypole.
And you did. I've done it. I've done dancing around the maypole, and it's an experience in itself.
It's done with both sexes, is it not?
Yes, it's done with both sexes.
Younger members of the family, the kids of the family, generally, young unmarried people.
Yes,
and children would do this.
And here's the thing: is like when I don't know if they all do this, but the one that I did, which by the way was just amazing. I actually danced while we were weaving through, and
some traditions have that,
and it's a wonderful experience. So if you ever get a chance to do it, would 10 out of 10 recommend. I would do it. Yeah,
it's really fun.
It is.
And it ends up looking super cool on the maypole.
You get dizzy afterwards.
So hand fasting. What is hand fasting? Hand fasting is a Beltane traditional time for commitment rituals. So think June weddings. Couples' hands are bound with ribbons, symbolizing unified lives for a year and a day or a lifetime. Well, I wish marriage was like that. I wish you could try one for a year and a day and then decide, I think I'll try somebody else now.
Hand fastings traditionally come from Ireland. Actually, hand fastings originally come from Ireland, and if you guys ever see,
Well, they're Celtic.
yes,
Right.
and I think I have a ring in there somewhere. It's called the Cladea. If I said that right. And it's a heart with a crown with hands holding it. And this is where it actually this particular ring actually stems from a hand fasting. The truth and the story goes for this is that this man was going off to war, and the love of his life wanted to marry before he leaves, and he agreed to a year and a day because that was how long his leave was. So he fastens this ring with a heart. And then the story goes, if the heart is pointing inward, your love is with you. If it's pointing outward, your love is far away.
You're talking about the point of the heart. Is that correct?
The point of the heart.
Okay.
So he ends up dying in war. And she never remarries. And she always wore that ring on outwards. She stayed single.
Story.
But hand fastings are so beautiful. I've seen some in my time. And the very traditional. If you guys ever really want to learn about hand fastings, I'm more than happy to talk about it. But I don't think we have the time for me to go on a whole rant.
Probably not, but it is a beautiful pagan tradition. It's more of a pagan wedding tradition. So you can think about it that way. And a lot of people that are pagan will opt for hand fasting over a wedding. And you can still have that officiated, and it can still be
hand fastings are
legal.
That so
hand fastings have now been made. They were made legal back in.
But you don't get to really do it for just a year and a day.
No, not anymore. No. But if you want to do it very traditionally, I would definitely recommend to look into it. Hand fastings. If I ever do get married myself, I will be doing a traditional.
They're really beautiful. I have been to hand fastings and they're really lovely.
They're gorgeous.
Yeah.
I would prefer them over a regular wedding any day of the week.
They're very colorful. It's not just white.
Oh God, no. I've seen some beautiful dresses.
All right, well, let's talk about building your Beltane altar. So what are some things that might traditionally go on a Beltane altar? We have here in different categories some traditional correspondences and symbolic intent. So our colors that we have that are traditional correspondences to Beltane are red, green, white, and gold. Sounds very Christmassy, doesn't it? But this actually, it actually is connected to Beltane as well. So this symbolizes passion. That's your red, right? And green for growth, white for purity, and gold is your solar energy. So those are all of the things that Beltane is about right there. Your crystals, rose quartz, carnelian, and aventurine. Again, love, creative fire for that carnelian, and aventurine, your green for luck. And that's also a good one for fertility as well, prosperity.
Which one?
Aventurine.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I always carry a little bit of aventurine with me. I find that
good stone.
I find that really, really kind of cool. It grounds me a little bit.
Oh, it's got that green energy to it. All right, your tools for the season that you're going to focus on are the chalice and athame or horns for the divine union of spirit. Now, the chalice and athame, and traditionally in witchcraft, we think of them as masculine and feminine, with the chalice being feminine and the athame representing the phallus energy. And the horns, think about, I would think about horns of plenty, not necessarily like at Thanksgiving, but we're talking about abundance.
Hmm.
Do you have anything about horns, Carolyn, to add to that?
No, same thing
Or
that you were
antlers?
saying. Hmm.
Are they talking about antlers or?
To be honest with you, they used to have cups that were shaped like horns,
That's more
Right, that's what I was
Norse.
thinking, like a
and that's more
temple.
Norse, though. That's
Uh,
what I'm thinking.
Celtic. If you're thinking Celtic, it's tied to Kurunos. Actually, the horns are.
Cernunnos, yeah.
Well, you know,
I was just wondering when they said horns, were they meaning
Yeah, they were.
horns on the head or horns to drink
With
out of?
you can actually use a
Horns
horn instead of an
to-
Athene in your
um,
chalice.
if you look in traditional like Celtic, they had made horns
Right, yes, they did.
with music. So
Now, our plants that we have associated with Beltane are the hawthorn, as we discussed, rose, daisy, and lilac. And these are for protection and blossoming. But, don't forget your dandelions. They make great flower crowns.
oh,
Um,
I love dandelions.
yeah,
We don't
daisies
have
do
any here in the
too.
Florida. That's the
I
only
know it
problem.
stinks.
Florida.
Culinary traditions.
Ooh, my favorite time.
Food. Sacred feasting. Traditional Beltane food focus on sweetness and nourishment. So we have honey cakes. That's one of my
Oh
favorite Beltane
God.
foods, representing the sweetness of life.
No, I've never tried May wine. I don't think I've ever tried
That's
that.
white wine infused with woodruff or strawberries. Now, who knows what woodruff is? Because I don't. That's why I'm asking.
I
It's an herb, that's all I know.
It rings a bell,
Woodruff.
but
Okay, hold on. Got you.
I'm at a loss. Dairy, think milk and cream honoring the Mother Earth's bounty, and bannock bread, ancient oat rounds cooked on the hearth.
Okay, so a woodruff, sweet woodruff, is a low-growing, shade-loving perennial ground cover with aromatic lace-shaped leaves and small white flowers, known for a sweet vanilla and haze scent due to coumarin. It thrives in moist and acidic soil, partial and full shade. Popular in European cuisine, tea, its flavor hibiscus with the nutty, often used in flavored desserts and May wine.
Cool. That sounds good.
It does.
I would like to try it.
I've heard of bannock bread. I've heard them talk about bannocks and
Yes.
shucks.
And that's what it looks like.
Oh, yeah, I think I've seen that before.
It's really pretty.
Whoops.
Ah, it's okay. Oh, there. That's what it looks like. It's really pretty.
Thank you. So, working with the veil, now we have to talk about
Fairy
Fran,
etiquette.
we have to talk about fairy etiquette. Yes, we have to talk about what we do, how to deal with the Fae a little bit. We're going to go into detail about the Fae later this year, but right now we're just going to touch on it. With the veil thinning, nature spirits are highly active. Practitioners leave offerings of milk and honey at thresholds or crossroads. The morning dew. Gather dew on May 1st to wash the face is an ancient charm for beauty and blessing. So if anyone wants to try to gather some dew and put it on your face, well, hey, let us know if that really works.
Right. It'd be nice.
I'd like to gather some dew, but I never get up early enough to go
Well,
out and
if
get
you
it
and
before it
you know
burns
what, if
off.
you say something, I'm up early anyway.
Yeah, I never get up early enough to get it before it burns away. Um, at least I'm honest. Hey, protection. Hanging rowan or hawthorn over doorways wards against mischievous spirits during this liminal time. So,
So if you want me to talk about fairy etiquette, I'm more than happy to talk about fairy etiquette.
okay.
Okay, so fairy etiquette, we mentioned milk and honey. So not only do you leave it in like doorways and crossroads, you can leave it openly on your property. Now, I like to recommend what you do is you put a little bowl, whether it's paper or whatever the case may be. You can use it. You can get your own little offering bowl for this. I recommend getting four different for these because you're going to put it at the 4 points of your property. So 2 in the back, 2 in the front. Now, if you have a bigger property, good. Figure out, like, even if it's just a small area and you just do it at the 4 points, you do milk, honey, and you leave a little bit of bread. They like a little bread because they like to dunk it in the milk and honey. So just keep that in mind. Also, another thing about fairy etiquette is they tend to be very what's the word I'm looking for?
Easily offended.
Yeah, that works. I was gonna say petty, but yeah, that goes in the realm of very easily offended. So when you go into a space and you notice like your land spirits and your fae, always give them respect. Say, may I enter this realm? May I enter this property? And a lot of times they see that as a sign of respect. You don't just go stomping in there going, I'm this big person, I'm going to do it. Because then they're going to be like, ha ha ha, bet.
Let's see how we can fuck with you.
Yes, pretty much. Another really good one is they do like sweets. So a lot of times I'll get like those little cheap Debbie cakes. Like they have the spring ones. You know what I'm talking about? Like little cheap spring
I've
Debbie
heard of
cakes.
people getting those cheap bags of cotton candy
Oh yeah, they like those too.
and pinching off a little bit here.
And yeah, and you put it with the milk and honey. Oh yeah, they if you think you have a sweet tooth, you have not messed with the Fae yet. Their sweet tooth rival people's. Like it does. They're really really bad. I'm surprised they don't have their own dentist. Um, Needless to say,
They may. Hermie as a dentist now from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Yep.
why I forgot about
He's
that.
an elf.
But
Oh,
there's a
true. Sorry, Faye.
well, actually, they kind of fall in the same realm. They
Yeah,
do,
it's all
but
the
then
same thing.
yeah, they kind of fall in the same realm. But just these little tricks, don't offend them. Always show them respect. It's all about this. You give respect, you get respect, and that's the same thing with the Fae. You give respect, and they give it right back to you. Milk and honey, they prefer the raw honey. I use oat milk because I can't have regular milk. They seem to like it. Now, do they like it when you mix the milk and the honey together and just add a little bit extra honey to it, and they'll love you forever. But don't go actively searching for them. They find that offensive. They do. They do not like when you go actively searching for them. Now, if they're on your land, just leave the offerings and say, I offer this to you out of respect, and just go about your day. And
Now,
they'll leave you alone.
if you don't want to interact with them, and there's an area that you would prefer that they stayed out of, you may surround that with iron because they don't like it and they'll stay away from that. So if you want to protect your belongings from the bay or certain areas of your property or whatever, all you have to do is ring it with iron. All right. So honoring through action. We're going to talk about spiritual ecology.
Ooh.
That sounds like a class, doesn't it?
Yes.
Belting is more than ritual, it is earth service. Modern practitioners engage in environmental activism as a form of devotion. I think that's an excellent idea. Seed planting, physical acts mirroring spiritual intentions for legacy and growth. If you plant them, please remember to water them. Personal experience.
Yeah, I kill them.
Yeah. Restoring damaged ecosystems as an offering to the fae. Or generosity, leaving May baskets for neighbors to spread community joy. So there's lots of things that you can do to give back to the earth, and these are just a few ideas.
Sometimes you can, even if it sounds a little crazy, you can always donate to your favorite charity, whether it be the local animal shelter in your area or wildlife rescue.
Right. We live near the ocean, so volunteer to clean up a beach.
Mhm.
I mean, anything like that is, or a park. Everybody has parks. So
Definitely recommend if you're interested in that. Always give Google a great search, and they'll be able to tell you where to go.
Absolutely. So we have a simple ritual, structured outline for solitary or group practice. This is just very simple. The opening is a grounding and to call the directions. And then you have your invocation where you light the Beltane fire candle, invoke maybe any deity that you're working with.
Mhm.
Your intention, writing desires on ribbons or bay leaves. I love that on ribbon.
Mhm.
Feast, sharing honey cakes and libations
I want to
together.
make a honey cake.
And then closing with grounding energy back into the earth.
I'm gonna look up a recipe for honey cake. I think I want to make a honey cake.
You should ask Belle. She had a recipe. She made a good one.
Okay.
Okay, understanding modern belting. All right. So this is a graphic that is supposed to tell you about, I guess, how much is what. So it's largely from this, I would say about a third historical folklore
Hmm.
and maybe 3/4 or more 20th century reconstruction. So most of this is modern,
Uh-huh.
but a lot of it, the vast majority, as you can tell from this graphic, is contemporary intuition. And it's about what feels right.
Mhm.
What feels right to you? What strikes you as something, I need to do this for Beltane? Then that's what you need to do. Simple as that. Follow your own heart. Reinvention, not revival. Modern Beltane is a creative adaptation using fragmentary records to meet contemporary spiritual needs for nature connection.
I think so.
That's lovely.
I think something that we need to keep in mind is a lot of these, like the Eddas and in the Book of Invasions through Irish mythology and
Mhm.
things of this nature. These were written at a time through rosy colored lenses, I'd like to say. And they're not concrete. And to be able to modernize what has already been written, it should be in the forefront of our idea of as a practice. What worked then will not work now. So
Yeah, I don't think that a bunch of people stripping their clothes off and dancing naked around a giant bonfire and driving their cattle through it bonfire out in the middle of your community is probably going to raise a few eyebrows. So,
Yeah.
how
yeah.
about a few eyeballs?
So we can't always practice the way that our ancestors did and not have run-ins with the law. So
I like to think of it this way:
So we
our
have to
ancestors would be
reinvent
proud
this.
that
Yeah.
we're just carrying on the
That we're
tradition.
trying,
Yeah,
that we're
carrying
still
on.
trying. They're probably looking down and going, wow, they're actually trying to bring that back. Good for you.
Right. So again, this I like that saying of revention,
Reinvention.
reinvention, and
Yeah.
not revival. I love that idea because again, it's not gonna work. What worked then, it's not gonna
We're
work now.
reviving the idea of it is what it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
The idea of Beltane, the idea of what went before, and we're trying to reinvent that in a modern way that fits into a contemporary practice and a contemporary life.
I completely.
Because we all have to lead them, whether we want to or not. We all have to, from some extent to another, lead some kind of contemporary life out in the modern world, doing things that other people do. Working with electronics is one of the things our ancestors never dreamed of. So, you know, we just have to follow our gut and do what feels right.
Hmm.
The fire still burns. I love that. In a time of environmental crises and spiritual disconnection, Beltane offers a path back to joy, embodiment, and a sacred relationship with the living earth. It prioritizes joy over productivity and cycles over linear progress. That's really important when you think about it. Because what is more important? Life is short, and there's
Uh-huh.
plenty of time to be productive. Seize the opportunities for joy because they don't come around often enough.
I don't.
And linear progress, yes, we do make linear progress throughout our lifetime. Yes, our lives do have to follow a certain progression. But what this reminds us of is that life and the earth, like the tides, like our periods, comes in cycles.
Mhm.
And
Uh-huh.
we have to adapt with those changes.
We do.
So blessed Beltane, everybody, welcome the light, honor the fire, and celebrate life to the fullest. May the creative fires of the season inspire your path. Thank you, and uh, thank you for joining us tonight, the Sisterhood of the Rising Phoenix, and thank you for being here to celebrate Beltane with us and learn more about it as we
Next week we'll have our Beltane ritual.
um,
Yes.
what a May but what Maybush is. I'm afraid to look things up.
No.
No, if I don't know, I'm going to find out.
Yes, we're
So, yeah.
rabbit hole girlies. We really, really
Thank
are.
you for being here with us. And we appreciate you joining us. And be sure to come back next week. We have more for you. Tell them what we've got, Carolyn.
We have the Beltane ritual next week.
Yay!
And
I
then
look
the
forward
month
to
of May is divination, May and
Yay!
June.
Oh my god!
We're
Yes.
spending a whole month on divination.
This is
So
this is so exciting for a lot of us.
probably more than a month.
Yeah, we're probably going to spend May and June.
I know I'm currently working on the next portion of our Celtic mythology class. I had to take a step back for a little bit and focus on a couple of things.
We have lots of rabbit holes.
Oh, we do.
For divination month, we have all kinds of divinations that we had, some that we had heard of, some that we were very familiar with, and others that were like, what was that?
Yeah, it was
Uh-huh.
definitely interesting hearing about all these different divinations.
So we have a whole divination dictionary for you guys. No kidding.
We're going to be posting that as we go, and I cannot wait for this to come.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really excited about Beltane. I'm really excited about um, this upcoming divination dive in.
Yes,
it should be a lot of fun.
it will be.
I know tarot. I know a little. I know.
I think there's a lot of people that know something about at least some of these.
Yes.
And there's going to be other people that might know a lot about some of these, and there's probably going to be some of them that
You're
might
going,
leave you scratching your head.
Well, I didn't know that
Like
was a
people
thing.
really do that? Yeah, they do. You
Yeah,
can
they
get
do.
anything from information. Believe me, anything. So if there's a sign to be found, we are going to find it.
And I cannot wait for this. I'm so
Yeah.
excited. And then the next holiday we have coming up is Litha, which that one's my one I'm looking the most forward to.
Summer solstice. I love summer solstice.
I gotta get your William Shakespeare book out. I think we've talked about this in almost every meeting where we are going to be talking about midsummer. This is when we're going to be talking really about the Fae. So we gave you a little bit of a glimpse of what we've got planned for that. But we're really going to go in depth. We're also going to be bringing out one of my favorite William Shakespeare plays, which is Midsummer. So we're going to be talking about those.
Dreams.
And we're going to be talking about some of those characters as well.
Puck.
Oh, Puck.
Yeah.
Oh, Puck.
Titania and Oberon and all the other fairies. So it should be fun.
Yes. I'm
Yes.
just looking forward to all of this.
We hope you join us. So be sure and come back either on Thursday nights for our Facebook coven, or you can join us on TikTok, on Instagram, We have a Facebook group for the Sisterhood of the Rising Phoenix. We are on Discord and
YouTube.
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 You can always
YouTube.
You
If
can always
you're
catch your
watching
playbacks.
us,
You can
you know,
replay there too.
So yes, our playbacks will be on YouTube, and we'll be doing some lives in the future. So watch out for that too. So thank you for joining us every Thursday night, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time,
I think it's 7
Central,
Central.
and 6 o'clock Mountain, 5 o'clock Pacific. And if you're not in America, I don't know, but we'll find out for you.
Right. And if you want to look us up personally, I know she is the Salty Crown.
Absolutely.
I am the Celtic Raven 1990, and our lovely woman over here is
Carolyn Roberto.
Carolyn
Wicked
Annie. That's what I was thinking.
Annie.
Look, listen, I'm here.
So thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you again next time for Beltane. Good night.
Good night.
Blessed
be.
Bye. Merry meet, Merry part,
and merry meet again.